This is going to be a very different type of video for me. If you've ever faced any sort of mental struggles or you're struggling right now, I want you to watch this video until the very end. I'm going to share some of my past struggles and some of my recent ones. My hope is that after watching this, you feel a little bit more like you're not alone, that you know that it's okay to seek help if you need it, and maybe even help you find an outlet. Because for me, in the times that I hit rock bottom, toy collecting is what helped bring me out of those pits of despair. No special intro for this one, guys. It doesn't feel right. This is a very different type of video, like I said. I've always been very private about this topic of my anxiety and my depression, and I've always felt weird sharing it, and it made me feel weak. It made me feel like less of a man. But my hope is to hopefully help others. If you're feeling this, feel it less. So here goes. Anxiety and depression have been around like my entire adult life, as far back as I can remember. There have been some really bad down points, and there's been some times where it's just taken over and it's been overwhelming. In fact, in full transparency, I just probably had the worst bout of depression I've ever come back from. It was after the flood cleanup. After we got everything finished and everything was fixed, like all the emotions hit me. Like I was able to run on an adrenaline through the cleanup, through the process, and be there for my family. But once everything was done and fixed, that's when I crashed, and it was not fun. It was really difficult. You might have even noticed that I didn't have any videos for a while. That's why. I was using up everything I had in the can, and I couldn't even get in front of a camera. The display you've seen in the other set that I use for the lives, that's the turning point for me. When I spent a couple days setting that up, getting all the characters posed, deciding what accessories and heads to use, I don't know what it is about that. I know it has something to do with like disassociation from problems, but that's really where I can point to as where I started to come out of it. You know, thing between that and medication, that's what did it. But yeah, it was ugly. This isn't the first time this has happened to me either. Another time I can remember their toys really pulled me out of it was when I moved from Philly to out here where I am now in Harrisburg. I was super depressed, man. I left all my friends and everything I knew. Even like my stores. Like I had my Targets and my Toys R Us, and toy runs are a big part of who I was, and it's what I missed the most. When I moved here, solo toy runs is what kept me sane. It taught me the new area. It allowed me to transition into a new part of my life while holding on to an old part of it. During this time, I had a really hard time sleeping, and there were many overnight toy runs because I remember very well when Walmart was still 24/7. God, I miss that. But I would literally hit 5 Walmarts in a 100-mile radius overnight and just go from Walmart to Walmart and hit the toy section, and I checked the pallets to see if there was anything good on them. And then I distinctly remember going to Friendly's the next morning to wait tables at 6 a.m. having not slept a wink and just having like the mantra in my head, sleep is for the weak, sleep is for the weak. And I crashed when I was done. But again, toys were there for me. Then there was my first breakup. I was a bit older here. I was actually like 24 or 25 the first time I had my heart broken. It's really funny to look back on this now because I have Anna and I understand what love is. So I wouldn't even say that I was in love before because I don't think I even knew what it was. But I definitely felt pretty heartbroken. This was about the time of the 30th anniversary collection coming out, and those things were so fun to chase. There was a typical poor Hasbro distribution, but some of the figures were just impossible to find while others stacked. Expanded universe figures have always been my favorite, so I hunted for Darth Revan and Darth Malak everywhere. I never found them, but I love the hunt. So toy hunts again really helped me here, because the last time I was struggling, they helped me like learn the new area, and now they really helped me just kind of, it was like a walking meditation. In June of 2019, my dad passed away. To be fully honest, you guys probably know if you've been watching for the channel for a while, I still feel a lot of grief from this one. This was about the time I started collecting pretty heavy again because I needed an outlet. But it's also when I first started opening figures. I moved away from mint-on-card collecting because of space, really. And it was awesome. And I distinctly remember the night that I knew I was back in. It was like a John Wick moment, like, yeah, I'm back. There was a GameStop clearance going on, and they had like a $5 table. And I was able to pick up a bunch of wrestling figures. And that's what got me back into it. And this is where I started with the wrestling again for the first time in 20 years. And this is when I first started collecting Marvel Legends. In fact, at one point I'm like, hey, maybe I can just for fun make some kind of a YouTube channel, get a couple hundred subscribers. There's a video somewhere of me opening that Ric Flair figure that was in the arcade box, and it took me like 5 minutes to get it open and figure it out. But yeah, I'd love to know where that video went, but I think you know how the YouTube story went. I want you to know that you're not alone. Get help. Pick up a toy, it might help you. I know toy runs are largely a dead thing because of the distribution. That's okay. There are so many other parts of the toy collecting and just collecting in general hobby that make you feel better. Just keep it within your means. Display, photography, customize, repaint. There's so much you can do. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, I just poured my heart out. Give me that sub. Also, if you've ever had toys help you get out of a funk, let me know about it in the comments. I'm very curious to hear. And remember, you have to get old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.